Hello and welcome all of you. In this today's video lecture, we are going to see about fresh concrete. So, in this video lecture, we are going to cover first workability, second is factors affecting workability, third is measurement of workability, and fourth one is segregation and bleeding. Fifth one is bleeding. So the outcome of the today's lecture that you will be able to explain the properties of fresh concrete and test performed on the fresh concrete. So let's begin with workability. The definition of workability is the relative ease with which concrete can be mixed, transported, molded, compacted and finished with minimum loss of homogeneity. As we know, these are nothing but the steps of the production of the concrete, that is mixing, transportation, molding, compaction and finishing. Okay, in all the stages we will require our concrete to be workable. So every job will require a different workability. Suppose if you are doing a mass concrete foundation, the workability will be different. And if you are doing the concreting on the slab, that is at the roof, the workability will be different. If you are going to do the compaction by vibration, then workability required will be different. And if you are going to do compaction by hand, then workability required will be different. Okay. So now we will study the factors that affect the workability. First one is water content, second is mix proportion, third one is size of aggregate, fourth one is surface texture of aggregate, fifth one is grading of aggregate, and sixth one is the use of admixture. So we will see one by one how they affect the workability. So first one is water content. Water content plays an important role in workability. So workability of concrete increases with increasing water content. Okay, higher the water content, higher will be the workability. So this is one of the easy method to improve or to increase workability on site. On site, the supervisor who doesn't know much about the how to make good quality concrete, he will just add the water in the concrete in order to make it workable. But there are few disadvantages are there that we need to study. The first one is if we increase the water, the strength of concrete may get reduced. Second is if we increase the water content, then it may cause bleeding in the concrete. So what does it mean by bleeding? So bleeding means whatever water is there in the concrete, it will come on the upper side. We are going to see it in the next slide, after few slides. Okay, also if we increase water, the cement slurry also escape through the joints of formwork. Next one is mixed proportion. This also plays an important role in deciding the workability. If aggregate to cement ratio is higher, then our concrete will become lean concrete. So what a lean concrete means? Lean concrete means whatever cement paste available is less in order to cover all the aggregates, and hence our concrete become lean concrete. And in lean concrete, lubrication is difficult because cement content is less there and it is not enough to cover all the aggregates, and hence the workability of concrete goes on reducing if you go with higher aggregate cement ratio. Inversely, if you go lower aggregate cement ratio, our paste available will be more, and hence our concrete will become cohesive and fatty. So we will get better workability. Then aggregate size. Size of aggregate also influence the workability of the concrete. If you use higher size of aggregate, it will require less surface area. Water will be required less because it has less surface area. If you use smaller size aggregate, water requirement will be more in order to cover all the surface area of the aggregate. In simple word, larger size aggregate have lesser surface area and hence they will require less water. Next one is surface texture of aggregate. Generally, there are two textures we deal with. First one is rough texture and second is smooth. Rough textured aggregate will show poor workability and smooth glassy texture aggregate will give better workability. And the reason behind is smooth finished aggregate gives less friction and hence higher workability is there. Also, reduction of interparticle friction resistance offered by smooth aggregate contribute to the higher workability. Next point is also related with the aggregates. There are many types of gradings we know, like single sized, poorly graded as well as well graded. Better the grading, less amount of void will be in it. Okay. So when total voids are less, excess paste is available to give better lubricating effect. Without excess amount of paste, the mixture becomes cohesive and fatty, which prevents segregation of particle and least amount of compaction effort is required. Hence, better the grading, lesser will be the voids and higher will be the workability. The equation is clear. Another one parameter that influence workability is admixtures. Okay, admixtures have very simple definition. Material other than cement, sand, aggregate and water is called as admixture. Okay, so if you side these four materials, any other material that you are going to add in making the concrete is nothing but admixture. Okay, so plasticizer and super plasticizers greatly improve the workability. Also, air entraining agents are also used to increase the workability. So their working is air entraining agents create a large number of very small bubbles. These bubbles get distributed thoroughly the mass of concrete and act as a roller and increase the workability. Pozzolanic material are also used to improve the workability. So now we have finished the factors affecting workability. Now we will see how to measure the workability. As I mentioned, we need to measure the workability because as per the requirement of the job, the workability requirement is different and hence we need to measure the workability. There are different types of tests that we can perform in order to find out the workability. But in this presentation, we are going to cover slump test and compaction factor test. So slump test, it is most commonly used method of measuring consistency of concrete, and this method we can use on site as well as in the laboratory. Specially, it is designed for the field work. In the slump test, there is one cone whose bottom diameter is 20 centimeter, top diameter is 10 centimeter and height is 30 centimeter. And we need to fill this cone with the concrete. We need to take care that while filling the cone with concrete, we need to tamp each layer of the concrete 25 times with standard rod of 16 mm diameter and whose length will be 60 centimeter. So there is one standard rod is there having diameter 16 mm and length 60 centimeter, and we have to tamp it 25 times. So here you can see in this picture that cone having upper diameter 10, lower 20 centimeter and height is 30 centimeter. After filling this cone, we have to remove this cone and we need to measure that concrete which will flow under the gravity. Slump cone test is not suitable for very wet or very dry concrete. There are many types of slumps we will get. We will get collapse structure or shear or true slump. These pictures are enough sufficient to explain collapse, shear and true slump. Next test, this test is specially designed for the lab. In compaction factor test, there is one formula. That formula is weight of partially compacted concrete to the weight of fully compacted concrete. And when we will get this compaction factor value, this value is distributed from very low workability to very high workability. So for compaction factor test, there is one instrument. Once we prepare our concrete, whenever our concrete is in the fresh state, we have to put that concrete in the upper hopper. Then we have to open the door which is at the bottom. Then that concrete will go to the lower hopper. Then again we have to open the door of the lower hopper so that that concrete will fall in the cylinder. We have to level the cylinder and excess part of the concrete we have to remove above the cylinder. Then we have to take the weight, that is our partially compacted concrete. And to achieve the full compacted concrete, we have to take the concrete from the same sample and we have to put in the cylinder and then we have to vibrate it so that we can get full compaction, and then using this formula we have to calculate the compaction factor. If we get the value in between 0.7 to 0.8, that means it has very low workability. If we get the value in between 0.8 to 0.85, it means low workability. Similarly, 0.85 to 0.95 will give us medium workability, and if our compaction factor is greater than 0.95, we will get higher workability. Okay, so there are two terminologies related to the fresh concrete that we need to see. First one is segregation. Here you can see in the picture that aggregates are separate, cement paste is separated. So this phenomenon is called as segregation. Segregation is happen because when we add excess water, or there are many causes that we will see in the next slide. But segregation may be done by three types, and these three types are: first one is the coarse aggregate get separated out from the rest of the matrix. Second is our matrix get away from the coarse aggregate, or water separating out from the rest of the material. Okay, so these are three types of segregation. In good concrete, All concrete aggregate are evenly coated with sand and cement paste and form a homogeneous mass. There are many reasons behind segregation. Suppose you are transporting the concrete, that is during the handling, transporting or placing, due to the jerk or because of vibration, our cement paste and sand get separated away from the coarse aggregate. So there are many causes of segregation. First one is use of high water to cement ratio in the concrete. Second is excessive vibration of concrete with mechanical needle vibration. Because of that, heavier particle gets settled down and light cement sand paste will come at the top. When concreting is done from an height, suppose in case of the column filling or underground foundation, it may cause the segregation. There are few steps, there are few cares that we can take, so that will come under prevention of segregation. So by maintaining a proper proportion, we can avoid segregation. By using air entraining agents, admixtures, pozzolanic materials, we can control the segregation. Then we need to take care or special care while handling, placing, transporting, compacting, and while finishing. And whenever depth of the concrete is more than 1.5 meter, it should be placed through temporary inclined channels. So here we cannot directly throw the concrete when the height is more than 1.5 meter. It will cause the segregation. So we have to use either channels so that concrete will flow and there will not be any segregation. There is another concept, that is bleeding. It is nothing but a form of segregation in which water present in the concrete mix is pushed upward. Here in this picture you can see whatever water is there is come at the top. So prevention of bleeding, first one is bleeding in concrete is controlled by adding minimum water content in concrete mix. So you have to control the quantity of or amount of water. Then encouraging use of air entraining admixtures and by adding more cement in the mix. This is the way you can prevent the bleeding. Okay, so thank you. I hope you have got the idea related fresh concrete, then test performed on the fresh concrete, factors affecting the workability and the phenomena of segregation and bleeding. Okay, thank you.